How did my niece end up in the ICU? My sister was obsessed with beauty pageants since we were kids. Our mom shoved her into them young, but she was pretty and poised, so she kept winning. And when she got pregnant at 18, that obsession didn't die, it just switched targets. She used to say, "My body never came back after the baby," like it was some tragic loss. But to her, that just meant her own pageant days were done. So she moved the dream onto her daughter. My niece became the project. From the moment she could walk, she was in mini heels, full makeup, frilly gowns. And it wasn't cute, it was creepy. At 4, she was wearing corsets, sitting like royalty, practicing fake cries on command. It only escalated. Her husband divorced her when their daughter was 5 after she secretly entered her into a pageant while he was on a business trip. He came home to find her screaming at the kid for coming in second. And somehow, she still got custody. I didn't know how bad it was. I'd been living overseas for years. It wasn't until my niece turned 10 that things unraveled. My sister called me out of nowhere, said she had huge news, wanted me to come home for a celebration. I could hear a treadmill in the background, then a loud crash. She brushed it off, told me it was the biggest pageant yet, and her daughter had finally made it. I booked the next flight home. When I landed, it wasn't her who picked me up. It was her ex-husband. We'd never even talked before. I asked why he was there instead of my sister, and he just said, "You need to see for yourself." He drove me straight to the hospital. My niece looked like she'd been pulled out of a famine documentary. Bones everywhere, skin paper thin, sunken cheeks, 10 years old and barely breathing. Tubes, monitors, beeping machines. And her dad, this normally rock-solid guy, was sobbing. I was frozen. Turns out while he was away for work, my sister pushed things to a whole new level. Less than 800 calories a day, workouts in sauna suits, supplements that would make a bodybuilder flinch. 3 days before the pageant, she stopped feeding her. Only water. On the day itself, she gave her diuretics. A handful. Full dose for a grown adult. Why? To show every rib, she walked onto the stage. Lights hit her. Her heart stopped, collapsed off the stage, sprained her neck, but the real damage was the cardiac arrest. She almost died right there. And Sarah, my sister, she vanished. Didn't call the ambulance, didn't show up at the hospital, didn't answer 25 missed calls. She had no clue her kid nearly died until hours later. When the hospital finally called her ex, he dropped everything and flew back. I stayed by her side in that ICU. I was holding her tiny hand when I got a text. Unknown number. "How's my baby?" It was Sarah. She used a burner. I asked where she was. She deflected, said I was threatening her, that I was unstable. The same woman who nearly killed her kid was playing the victim. Then CPS showed up, asked why I was emotionally volatile in the pediatric ward. I tried to explain, been overseas, didn't know, trying to help, but I looked like an absentee aunt suddenly interfering. They talked like Sarah might just be overwhelmed. Then the chaplain came in with a bag, the pageant dress and personal items. Could only release them to the mother. No guardianship, no dress, no evidence. A nurse whispered to me that Sarah's house lights were seen on again. Someone was home. But before I could act, the monitors started screaming. My niece was crashing again. They rushed her for a scan. I stayed. I could have gone to Sarah's place, but I stayed with my niece. 2 hours later, we got back to the room and everything exploded. Her vitals went nuts. Nurses rushing in. Her dad, Brian, was freaking out. My phone rang. It was Sarah's lawyer, one of the best in the city. She was already preparing a custody defense. CPS came back, this time way more hostile. I tried to stay calm, but I kept digging myself deeper. Yes, I'd been gone. No, I didn't know. Yes, I was emotional. But without solid proof, it all sounded like gossip. Then another text, this time from Sarah's real number. "At the hospital gift shop getting something for my baby." I ran, clicked the full story to see what happened next.